Beautiful soul, you are so unconditionally loved and adored by God, your angels, and your guides on your spirit team. They want you to know how proud they are of you. You are perfect just the way you are. You are needed here on earth, and you can truly be anything you want to be in this life. Dream big, be confident, and believe in yourself the same way God believes in you. Your spirit team is cheerleading you every step of the way. Talk to them and then listen. They'll whisper back only loving, positive guidance. Friends, your angels have 31 more recorded messages for you, just like this one. And I'm giving them to you for free when you sign up for my angel newsletter on the top of theangelmedium.com. If you love this podcast, support us with a purchase or donation on theangelmedium.com. Leave a 5-star positive review and support us on the socials at Angel Podcast. Check the show notes for details and this month's drawing winner. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Intuitive Kids podcast. I'm here again with Dr. Julia Mossbridge, and today we are talking about mental time travel. This is really, really cool. We're not talking about the time travel where you actually go back to where the dinosaurs were or into the future. We're talking about ways that you can actually go back and soothe yourself in a moment that you had in your past, or you can go into the future and send your future self love. So, Dr. Julia Mossbridge, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm so glad to be back.
Yay. Okay, so the question of the day is this. How do you go back in time to send a past version of yourself, or future in time to send a future version of yourself love or comfort? And scientifically, is it proven that that helps?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics in the whole world. I really love the idea of how connecting with yourself over time actually strengthens you, makes you more resilient, and brings hope. And that is well documented scientifically, that doing this kind of thing actually brings hope and helps people cope with problems they've had in the past and forgive themselves for regrets that they have in the past, and also helps them feel connected to their future self and helps kind of pull people forward. And it's all done with your imagination. And that's why it's so cool. So, and the way you do it is some people close their eyes, some people keep their eyes open, but I like to close my eyes and I put my attention. In fact, I can take people through a little meditation to do this.
Let's do it.
Because I realized I was about to describe it and I'm like, let's just do it.
Let's just do it. That's perfect.
Okay, cool. All right. So everybody, go ahead and close your eyes and see if you can uncross your arms and your legs. Because when your arms and legs are crossed, you're a little bit less receptive. So you're more open when your arms and legs are uncrossed. And if you're willing, go ahead and imagine that there's a tree that grows from the center of the earth all the way up to you where you're sitting. So that where your bottom is right where the branches of the tree would come out and they kind of surround you and protect you. And you're sort of sitting on the trunk. And that connects you in your mind. It connects you to the center of the earth, makes you feel like, all right, here I am. I'm safe. This tree has a wide trunk. I won't fall off. And I'm connected. And then above your head, imagine a big ball, a sphere, full of glowing, glittery, golden light. It's not filled up by you, it's filled up by the universe, and it's for you. In fact, it's so much for you that you might want to write your name on that ball because this is light that's specific for you. This is unconditional love for you and nobody else. So this is your special unconditional love. It's like a key that goes into the lock of who you are and unlocks the door to your heart. So after you see that ball and you have it in your mind's eye and you're ready, go ahead and open it up like a piñata. Release all the unconditional love just for you, the golden, glittery, golden, glowing, golden light. It's like you're now in a shower of this light. And it goes down to your toes and your knees and the backs of your legs and your front of your body and your back of your body, and your arms and your neck and your head and all the area around your body, like you're in an egg. It's a safe egg and it's filled with this golden glittery light even around you. So this is just to connect you to the center of the earth and help you feel that unconditional love. And now we're in a place, as we're feeling that, where we can imagine in our mind's eye, which is really in the center of your head between your ears. That's where we have like I like to call it the inner laboratory because I'm a scientist, but you might want to call it your inner garden or your inner sanctuary or just your mind's eye. Imagine that you're planting a flag right in the here and now. It's almost like you're standing on the space-time continuum and you plant a flag in the here and now and color the flag whatever your favorite color is right now. And then go ahead and notice over the time horizon, which looks however you want it to look. Notice that your past self from some age, maybe it was a year ago, maybe it was 2 hours ago, maybe it was many years ago, is walking towards you. You don't have to know how long ago this past self was, but just notice it's coming towards you. And I'll just say they, because I don't know what gender you are. So they come towards you and they want to talk to you. They want to ask for something. So you're the older, wiser one compared to this past self. So you get to listen and see if you can offer what this past self is asking for love, for forgiveness, for companionship. Just notice. And it's a quick interaction because in the future, you can always come back and visit as many times as you want. This is all in your imagination. So go ahead and hug your past self, wish them well, and watch them go back to where they belong on the space-time continuum. And notice that you haven't moved. You're still in the here and now with your flag. Your flag might have changed color, or maybe there's a pattern on it. That's okay. That just means things change when we interact with ourselves. And now notice your future self coming from another spot, walking towards you. Could be an hour from now, or 20 years from now, or 40 years from now. Who knows? You don't need to worry about that. But the future self is always wiser than the past self because it's been through more. So that future self is now going to ask you, what would you like? How can I support you? So you can go ahead and tell your future self in your imagination and in your inner laboratory, you could go ahead and say, this is what I'd like. Maybe you want reassurance or you want to feel better. Doesn't mean your future self can do it, but if your future self can, they will. I know that. For sure, they'll listen. And sometimes you learn something about what's going on right now for you. So it's another short interaction because you could always come back and visit your future self in your imagination right here in the center of your head whenever you like. Go ahead and give a hug to your future self and bring down some more of that golden, glittery, golden light the glowing light that's unconditional love just for you, right around you and your future self in the center of your head. And then watch your future self go back to their spot. And know that you can always come back here and that it's perfectly safe, because this is your spot to create and to visit with all parts of yourself, and that they're doing their work even when you're not talking to them. And that's it.
Ah, I felt such a oneness. And I think anyone at any age could do this and get answers for their past and answers for their future, too. I thought that was gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is the kind of thing that we already know helps people in one-on-one or in groups. And it's the kind of thing that we're working on creating a technology for so that anyone can do it with themselves.
Oh,
So, yeah, but you can do it without technology. You can do it before you go to bed at night. You can do it when you wake up in the morning, you know?
yeah, you could do it when you feel fear or anxiety or stress or worry or regret.
Any of those things.
Yeah.
Or if you're just like, you're like excited about the future, something exciting
Yes.
happened, but you need a little extra support. It's like we have these parts of ourselves that live inside of us and they can be awakened by our imagination.
Oh, I love that because the imagination is a tool that connects us to the energy of our past and the energy of our future.
That's right. That's right. And so many scientists and artists and people who do creative work, they talk about how they feel like when they have an insight, they feel like, oh, it's like my future self told me. You know,
Yeah.
John Lennon was famous for, or was it Paul McCartney? One of those Beatles was famous for the song Yesterday,
Mhm.
you know, and waking up in the morning and saying, oh, the song won't get out of my head. Who wrote that song? Who wrote that song? And it just felt so much like the song was already written. This was, someone had to have already written it. And then they realized, oh, this is my song and I have to write it. And so that kind of story is just over and over again as a way that we can sort of have more richness in our sense of who we are by connecting in with the future.
Yeah, a lot of artists say that too. And I think in the day to day, we as human beings will say, well, I don't know what to write, or I don't know what to paint, or I don't know what to create. But because there really is no time, and maybe I can ask you this question too, because there is really no time on the other side. Time is linear here on earth, meaning we go from one event to the next event to the next event, and we age here. But they say in heaven on the other side, there is no time, right? That it's all happening all at once. So if it's all happening all at once in this one dimension, we're able to tap into that energy in a linear way here and now and tap into the future. So I've heard what is it? Michelangelo, another artist, would say he would take a piece of clay and he would just start chipping away what wasn't supposed to be there. And that's how what would come would come. And I know you've written books, but I kept hearing when I would pray about writing a book, when the book is ready to come through you, the words will be there. And then I was in meditation one day and they're like, okay, it's time to start writing the book. And I just started sitting down and saying, okay, angels, what do you want to say? And it would just flow through my pen. And
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Yep. That's my experience too with books and with scientific experiments and with just a lot of things. It's like when it's ready to come, it comes, which doesn't mean you don't have to do the sitting down part. Like when I first heard people say that, I thought, oh, well, then I guess I'll never write a book because it never just flows out of me. And then I realized, I realized there has to be an urge inside of me first. Like it's
Mhm.
like a calling, and I think of it like a calling from
Where you're
source.
almost doing like some research or you're listening to different things that are inspiring you that are going to
Yeah.
tie into the book.
That's right. There's like it's like a context starts to develop where you're ready, you're sort of getting ready in
Yeah.
the linear time world. And then then when you sit down and make the time, and sometimes I dare God and I'm like, I'm going to sit down for an hour. And if the page is blank for the whole hour, then the page is blank for the whole hour, It never happens. But like, it's almost like I have to sit down and then make the space.
Yeah. Okay. So help explain this to kids since you are the person who studies as a scientist time. On the other side, God, universe, source. Is God, universe, source in a dimension of no time?
So that is not easy to study scientifically
Okay.
because we are stuck in this dimension scientifically. However, mathematically, so science and math are related, but not always the same.
Okay.
Mathematically, there are definitely mathematicians who have basically tried to understand the mathematics of other dimensions or the other side, as you put it, or something that doesn't have the rules of this dimension.
Yeah.
And there are ways you could do math that makes sense, where in another dimension, time would definitely either not exist or just wouldn't have these rules. So it would have to be something beyond the 4 dimensions, the 3 dimensions of space and the 1 dimension of time that we sort of universally acknowledge here. It would have to be a 5th, 6th, 7th or so dimension. But in those dimensions, the way that, if you think of it geometrically, so like here, I'm going to put my hands together like a ball. Like, let's say this ball is our linear sort of world universe.
Uh-huh.
So that the other dimensions would sort of maybe be like almost like a pencil through the ball.
Oh.
So it would behave very differently than it would to us. It would seem like that doesn't make any sense.
Uh-huh.
Right. There's a great book called Flatlanders or Flatland, I think.
Okay.
It's a great, it's like an animated book. It's about trying to think in multiple dimensions.
Ooh.
And it's one of the best.
I'll
It's been around for decades. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Well, and if you have older kids and you're listening, maybe middle school, high school age, I think another great movie that demonstrates this is, oh, now I'm mind blanking. What's the one with Matthew McConaughey? Interstellar.
Oh, so if you
Yes.
want to go for movies, so actually it's a lot easier to think about visually for me anyway. So movies, Interstellar is a great one.
Yep.
And then they even talk about the importance of love in that movie, which I think is
Yeah.
really
And how
cool.
so they kind of bring up this fact that love is not of this dimension, right? So
Yeah,
love is more of a 5th, 6th dimensional
like
where
a heaven place. Yeah,
a heaven place.
yeah,
Like love
yeah.
transcends this time. Love
Yes,
transcends this place.
yes, yes. And that's actually why that kind of thinking. Also, the movie Arrival is similar
Yeah.
in the way that it thinks about time and unconditional love, and how
Yes.
unconditional love allows the lead scientist, who's a woman actually,
Yeah.
to unravel these mysteries in time.
Mhm.
That's why I started the Institute for Love and Time, because there's this consistent relationship that many different philosophers and mystics and now scientists are starting to see between unconditional love and the boundarylessness of that, and the possibility of sort of a boundarylessness of time. And by boundarylessness, I mean like not boxing us in the way we normally think of it.
Yeah. Any final thoughts to leave the kids and families with today about love and time?
Yeah. So every moment, if you imagine every moment of your life like a bead on a necklace or a bracelet, we're used to imagining our lives like this now, 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 because we can only see ourselves right now.
Mhm.
That makes us want to have everything right now. But if we can extend our sense of ourselves so that all of those beads are part of who we are, then we don't need to be so impatient. We can actually realize that I had one thing yesterday, I have a different thing today. That's still me. I've had them both. So you start to become the string that connects all those beads. In other words, you're stronger.
Mm. What does it feel like to be all of the beads at one time? Does it feel different to you?
When I am in that state, which is a state of unconditional love for myself through time,
Yeah.
it feels the opposite of different. It feels like I'm home.
Mhm. Yeah. And just for everybody listening to kind of tie this all in, what Dr. Julia Mossbridge calls unconditional love, and I love to call it that too now, ever since our first interview together. I also call oneness. And it's just like we've talked about today, this space in which you are all versions of yourself at once, your peace, ease, bliss, love, joy. Um, and you can, for me, I feel it really palpably. I almost feel like I am a sun and like I'm just radiating love in every direction. And it's just warm and loving and positive and delicious and yeah, like home.
Yeah, like your truest self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Julia Mossbridge, always an open welcome to be here on our show. Thank you so much for being here. Where can people find you if they want to find out more about your Time and Love Institute and all of your amazing scientific work?
Sure. So go to loveandtime.org, and that's a springboard for everything else. It contains all the projects.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for the blessing of you being here on our show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a wonderful delight.
Want more episodes? Check out our parent podcast, Angels and Awakening. Beautiful souls, if you're super excited to develop your own intuition, go to theangelmedium.com and become an angel member. Angel membership is for the whole family. Parents get access to hundreds of hours of course content, intuitive development circles, small groups, and more. Each week, members get fun, new family dinner conversation starters to boost family connection and help kids build confidence. And starting January 1st, 2023, kids get access to spiritual workshops, pre-recorded energy healings, and live events just for them. Start today with a 5-day free trial at angelwellnesscenter.com/free trial. And if you're the family who's really excited, you're ready to go all in developing all of your unique spiritual gifts, kids age 14 and up can now enroll in my Angel Reiki School with a parent. That's for the healers among us who feel called to grow their intuition to the max and serve humanity with their gifts. You'll learn Reiki, mediumship, how to deliver angel messages, and how to start your own family business. That's the Angel Reiki School at theangelmedium.com. Details are in the show notes. Now, friends, do this meditation with me to connect with your angels. I want you to begin by imagining God is pouring unconditional love through the top, the crown of your head. Feel it as this unconditional love fills your body with a yummy, delicious, tingly energy from head to toe. God's unconditional love fills you so much that it begins to radiate out from your heart like rays of energy radiating out from the sun. Imagine God's infinite, unconditional love flows from your heart to everyone you love. Imagine this love flowing to every person in your school. Imagine God's unconditional love going to every person in the entire world. And imagine the world sending love back to you. Your angels remind you, friends, that they're always looking out for you, guiding you, directing you, and protecting you. Friends, talk to God and your angels all day long and then tune into your heart to hear the positive, loving messages they whisper back just for you.